Hello, everybody, and welcome to What's the Story podcast. This is WTS 329. I'm Danny Murray.
I'm Graham Merrigan.
All right. Graham, how are you, my friend?
Good. How are you, Danny?
At the tail end of this absolute plague, lurgy, whatever you want to call it, thankfully, but I'm getting there. I don't do coughs. I've probably had a cough twice in my life. This thing gave me a cough. I absolutely hate it. But I'm at that horrible stage of a cough where I'm on Exbutex.
Would
And
you not? Is that not at the start of the cough? Would you not get that at the start of the cough?
well, it's that long since I had a cough. I couldn't tell you what like a cough, like what the stages are. But
Yeah,
like for me, this started this horrible, dry,
yeah,
manky, just annoying, keeping me up at night kind of thing. And now I'm at the stage where when I cough, I feel like half my insides are trying to come up through my throat.
yeah. That's at me. When I woke up, I have a tradition at Christmas Eve where I go into Stephen's Green at about 10 a.m. It's about an
Right.
8-year tradition, and uh, I started because it was last minute shopping for
Yeah.
myself and for other people. I used to always get both sets of grandparents gifts. I used to get both grannies and my mother flowers in Grafton Street,
Lovely.
and the granddad's Ray a cap, or my granddad. Actually, my granddad Peter used to. The last couple of years, I've been getting Donald Fallon's books signed. I'd randomly meet Donald Fallon on in Christmas Eve in town. And Donald, can you sign the book for me, granddad? So he's done that 2 years in a row. But I started. Uh, sorry, I got up this Christmas, just past Christmas Eve,
Hmm.
got into town, and I was like, I coughed. I was like, oh, that's not just a cough, that's a cough.
Yeah.
So I went straight into Boots and I got large bottle of Exutex and I was swigging out of it like a bottle of fucking whiskey.
Yeah.
But I had a bad dose over the Christmas, from Christmas Eve onwards. Cough wouldn't go for weeks. Is that where you're at now? Because I feel like you've been sick for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, it is. It's easily 3 weeks. Yeah. I was in Center Parks there, 3 or 4, whatever, whenever I was away there for a few days.
You got it in Centre Parks, did you?
I'd say I had it before. I'm blaming Center Parks, but I'd say I had it before then. Do you know what I mean? I'd say it was like just bubbling away, and then it hit me while I was there. And like by the time I was going home, I got cubes to drive, and I slept on the drive home. I was,
Jesus, that's
yeah.
bad.
And we had to collect the dogs that night, and like it's not a
Remember you
bad,
drove me home from Mark Brock's wedding? That's how I felt. I was asleep in the
yeah,
back car
yeah.
back in the sea.
But yeah, again, like even collecting the dogs that night, like cubes drove, and I just in the car, and I was like, if I perish on this journey, just
I
I leave behind a
remember
beautiful
going to my
corpse.
aunt's for Christmas dinner, and I was saying to her
Yeah,
straight away, I said, I do not know how long I'm gonna last here.
yeah,
And I lasted about 8 o'clock and just went home to bed. I was absolutely,
it's,
oh, it was a rotten dose.
yeah. I don't know what dose this was either. Like I have no idea. It's like, but yeah. Look, I'm near the end of it, thankfully. So, but I,
Did you ever get when you're either at the start of a sickness or towards the end of a sickness, you
mm,
kind of treat yourself to delicious sweet treats. Do you do that?
don't don't need to be at the start or the end of a sickness for that. But yeah, I get you. I'm with you. Right, go on. Where are you
Just
going with
as
this?
a just as a pick me up. No,
Right.
I'm in a Rovers WhatsApp group with maybe 120 reprobate fans, that are great people, but they're mad things. And the M&S Marks and Spencer's treats come up a lot. Um, uh, the custard creams covered in chocolate are absolutely sensational. But I was up there on Sunday. I was up watching friend of the show, Pat Flynn's son, Senan, the great Senan Flynn, playing for Shamrock Rovers under 14s, playing against UCD. They hammered them. I can't even remember the score, 5 or 6-1. But on the drive home, I was a bit peckish. I was on the M50 and I was like, where will I get some grub?
Oh yeah.
So I said, feck, I'll go into Dundrum. I got eggs Benedict and Caledon Douglas. It was gorgeous. And then I said, right, I've got a lovely sweet tooth here. And the lads reminded me about all the sweet, delicious sweet treats in Marks and Spencer's. And
Mm.
I went into Marks and Spencer's, and like the dessert oil is just, excuse my French, fucking ridiculous
Oh
in a
yeah,
positive way. I mean,
yeah.
I thought profiteroles were only just chocolate, but you can get salted caramel, white chocolate profiteroles, all different flavored profiteroles. But I'm a big custard fan, and I've seen this big luxury container of a carton of custard,
Right.
and I seen Bramley apple crumble,
Oh
and
yes.
and the picture looked like a delicious crunchy crumble, and I got them and had them. Well, I still have one left actually.
Oh.
It's now Thursday, and I still have one left. And I just want to pay tribute to the sweet oil and the treat selection in Marks and Spencers. As much as it is probably that €1 dearer, probably
Hmm.
than the rest are a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, the bakery is the smell when you enter it is just, and they have this amazing Japanese corner as well. Have you seen
Yeah.
that?
I have.
Oh, I love Japanese food. The
It,
Japanese are great people.
wonderful, wonderful people. Absolutely. I think. Yeah, Marks and Spencer's. It's definitely more of the middle class Protestant brigade that they're appealing to.
Why did you have to ruin it?
I don't know, but it is though. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with
I
that,
know.
Graham. We can all aspire
No,
to
there's not.
this, but yeah, they're sweet treats. Even if you venture out of the bakery and you just go into the biscuit section, right? They it's not Nutella because it's not chocolate, but they do a hazelnut spread, and it is like you'd eat it straight from the jar, and you'd be like, I'll lose myself to diabetes, and I'm comfortable with that. It's fantastic. But they also do these they're like little chocolate wafer rolls, right? But the chocolate in them is that kind of Nutella-y kind of hazelnutty flavor. Like the bags, like I just if anyone from Marks and Spencer's is listening, it's
Yeah, and
2020.
then want to sponsor us, we can
Well,
do
that yeah,
promo ads for his.
right. But it's like we're all adults here. Stop giving us small bags of things. I can manage a large bag of deliciousness, okay? I don't need you to try and tell me we're only giving you 100 grams of something because we know you'll eat 500 grams if we give you 500. Let me own that decision. Let me be an adult here. But I highly recommend the sweet oil in that particular establishment.
Yeah, I was there on when I was there on Sunday. Like, so on in the oil, that is the famous Marks and Spencer's dessert oil, the frozen fridge, not frozen fridge, the fridge oil.
Hmm.
I do be so greedy, looking at everything. I want everything. But you have to realize that you're a grown man and just pick one and don't be so greedy. But on Sunday when I was there, I was going up and down. What'll I have? Will I have this? Will I have that? And I was staring at something for ages. And there was very nice people approaching me saying, do I need a hand to pick something off the top shelf? And I'm like, no, I'm just a greedy pig and I can't decide.
Love it, love
And then
it.
in actual fact, I needed them to pick because I ended up going with the Bramley Crunch
Yeah,
apple crumble, you know. But
yeah,
yeah, the Marks and Spencers want to pay tribute to their sweet treats, and if I think it's a very fair comment that you made that it's obviously like a middle class Protestant shop,
yeah.
but
It's but that's okay, Graham. That's
it's
okay.
okay. And that Japanese corner, as I said, the Japanese are great people, and that is a sensational corner.
Big fan of what they do. Um, I'm as always with these podcasts, we start talking about food, and I'm like, Jesus, I'd love something now. And
I know, yeah.
it's approaching one of the traditional meals of the day as well. So that's probably why I'm so hungry. But yeah,
What will you have?
no idea, no idea. I'll have a little venture into the
What do you
kitchen.
feel like?
I don't know. I like that, and that's like after this conversation, I just want something from Marks and Spencer, sweet oil. You know what I mean? But
Is there Marks and Spencer's near you? Did you say?
yeah, yeah, about 20 minutes for me.
All right, all right. I had a wrap yesterday in work. I was in the office and it was chicken, sriracha, mayo,
Sriracha mayo, yeah,
uh, mozzarella and cheddar cheese
yeah.
and spinach. And
Oh
it was
yeah,
absolutely sensational.
yeah. I could get behind that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't ask for that. It was just the pre-made ones that they just lob in the oven to
I was going to
toast.
say, what was it? A toasted? Like I find a
Yeah, it was
toasted wrap.
toasted. Yeah,
Yeah. See, if I'm toasting a wrap, I'd be hesitant to put salady stuff in because it wilts, you know. But like,
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think I just mean like tomato, red onion, maybe that they
ah,
go
yeah,
well heated up.
I'd go onion and maybe peppers. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Do you know Subway do wraps now?
I did not know that. No,
And they do very good wraps.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah, they only just started them. There's a Subway up at the job,
Yeah.
and I got a Philly cheesesteak one there last week. It was
Oh yeah.
absolutely sensational.
Do you know? Speaking of sweet treats and so the Subway cookies are next level.
Oh, amazing. The white
Next level.
macadamia ones.
Oh, oh my God. Ridiculous. If anyone from
Oh.
Subway is listening, that's what-
This is a product placement podcast. That's
this
what you
entire episode. Yeah, we've no guests, so all we're going to do is lob a load of products into the mix and see what happens. Yeah, there's a
are
man up a
amazing,
ladder.
those cookies though.
Yeah, there's a man. I'm looking. I'm in my office here, and I'm looking out the window, and there's a man up a ladder feeding cable into my neighbour's roof. They're getting solar panels. It's very exciting for
Oh,
them.
lovely.
Yeah. So
Would you go solar yourself?
I mean, there's probably 100 things I should do in this house before I go solar. Move out is probably the first one. So, oh, I would. I think they're good. They're like, it's a good idea. It's a good,
You have a child coming in the next 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
in the next
You can't
fucking,
be moving out.
about the next 3 weeks, Graham.
3 weeks. Sorry,
Yeah,
Jesus.
what are we on here? Hang on a second now till I do the maths on this.
You
Today,
have
all
two
right.
friends and their wives, partners are expecting, and I forget your Oksana is due in April, and my
Yeah.
good friend Emma, partner of Rob, is due in May.
Yeah, we're 3.5 weeks away from D-Day. So, in truth, it could happen any moment. It better fucking not. But
Are
it could happen.
you excited about fatherhood? Or are you shitting a brick? Or are you,
It's a bit
what
of
are you?
both. It's a bit of both, I think.
You used to hate kids.
I still do. You know what I mean? But it's different when it's your own, and that's what everyone has said over the years. Like, I'm not, I'm not somebody who romanticizes the idea of having, like, I'm gonna love the child, and I'm going to, do you know what I mean, do everything I can to make sure that it doesn't die due to my negligence. But like, I'm not, I'm not going to pretend that children were always something I wanted. I'm very
Yeah,
happy. Like, I'm delighted it's happening. Like myself and Cubes have. I don't think I've ever talked about it on the podcast or anything like that. You know what I mean? But this is not our first pregnancy, shall we say? And
yeah,
so there's definitely, a lot of emotion and a lot of feeling in all of this. But yeah, I'm not like for a long, long time in life, I was like, no, dogs, not kids, thanks. And there's still days where I probably
yeah,
feel like that. And I mean, like, we've two dogs who are definitely part of the family. We will be those people who are like, no, dogs are part of the family. Like, um,
yeah.
but now we've another mouth to feed, which probably won't be in a bowl on the floor either. Which probably have to change the feeding habits in the house. But sure, look, I'm very much looking
Yeah.
forward to it though. Very very much looking forward to it.
Oksana will be a great mother as well.
Ah, listen, she will be absolutely fucking amazing, and I'm very fortunate that I'll be going through this with her because like I'm an idiot, Graham. Like I'm a absolute
I can imagine you like. Do you ever see the episode on Only Fools and Horses where Raquel has the baby, and Del Boy is absolutely useless
yeah,
in
yeah.
the labor ward? That'll actually be you.
Like I mean I'm
You'll be shitting it as well. You get very nervous at these little serious things. You're
of
the
course
best
I
in
do.
the world. Uh, a la CM Punk, you're the best in the world when it comes to acting silly and stupid and funny. But then
Yeah,
when it's a serious situation and your face goes from smile to serious, that makes me
yeah.
very giddy.
I can't do it. Like I'm not yeah, I don't know. I'm just not. Yeah, where there's vulnerability and there's a bit of messing, I'm great. But where there's vulnerability and very serious things at play, I'm not so great. And yeah, but look,
They'll be given,
you
they'll
know,
be given, they'll be handing Oksana a cold towel and you'll take it off and put it on your forehead.
listen, if I'm too hot,
She'll
I'm too hot.
absolutely flip.
You know what I mean? And look, I'm under stricter orders to just do what I'm told, which is great. Great advice, to be perfectly fair. And I don't like the antenatal classes and all that. You know what I mean? So I've a little bit of an idea of
I'm
of
surprised you weren't thrown out of any, were you?
honestly, I like the giggles. Friend of the show, Gary Mackle, had given me a heads up about a particular part of it that I like. I mean, I had to go to a dark, dark place not to laugh during this.
What was it?
They're talking about perennial massages, which is massaging the bit between it's your bars, right? That's what they're talking about. And I I
You know,
am
we're two immature men talking about this. Like,
exactly I am an immature man. I am, and I laugh at things that children laugh. So I mean, like when this child comes for the first like 7 or 8 years, me and it will get it. See, this is the kind of thing. Me and her will get on great because we'll have the same level of maturity. But she will very quickly outgrow me, and the things that I think are hilarious, she'll be like, "What is wrong with you?" Because like that, Bars massages triggered me, and I like we're in that class, and that like the midwife who was giving the class, she was brilliant. Her delivery, the knowledge she was able to share, the experience, everything, absolutely amazing. And I was delighted I went because I really did learn at it. But for that 10 minutes, for that 10 minutes of Bars massage talk, I had to. I was thinking about dead relatives. I was thinking about heroic dogs who have perished. I was thinking about all the horrible things going on in the world just so I would not laugh at perennial massage. That is the level of maturity I have. So,
and what? So did you have to give the perineal
oh,
massage?
oh Jesus, no, they're just talking. So, uh, I'm very conscious we're two men talking about childbirth, and we are not the people
We're
who should.
not qualified, so we can move on.
No,
I
well,
find the
well,
word "barse"
yeah.
hilarious,
Well, the fact that I'm using that,
very
and
immature.
but right, so basically, right, that any woman who will give birth, there's a chance of ripping, right, or
Chance of?
tearing, tearing
Hmm?
the tear, Graham. They could
Oh,
tear.
tearing. Sorry.
Yeah. Um, and that part of the anatomy, the skin there, the chances or your ability to reduce the risk of tearing can be supported by massaging that part of your body and by sort of trying to work with that part of the body. Right. So you can tell I'm already sweating talking about this because I know there's going to be a woman listening and she's going to send us a message being like, "You are a fucking moron." And I apologize, right? I am like, as I said, I couldn't pay attention fully in the class because I was in a dark place trying not to fucking laugh through my own immaturity. So anyway, uh, she
Haven't been given a heads up.
honest, had I not got that heads up, I would have been, because the second I knew it was coming, I was like, Gary warned me. Gary fucking warned me, right? So there was not like there's no live demonstration, so to speak, other than there's kind of diagrams on the screen and she talks you through what you should do, kind of thing. That's enough to make me extremely giddy and to the immaturity of me to come to the fore. So yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, "Do you remember that dog Misty I had that you loved? She's dead. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Do you remember Cleo, your walrus shaped Labrador? Also dead. Also, like, just literally, just so yeah, man. Yeah. Brilliant class. Anyone, if anyone hasn't had a child and they're going to have a child and the antenatal, do them. Absolutely do them. You'll be better for it.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So,
This is why women are great and we're absolute immature dorks.
listen, absolutely. Like, I freely admit, they are the better gender, they're the better sex, they're the better, they, like, honestly, like, we are just idiots who roam around this planet constantly making mistakes. And then thankfully women are there to be like, I'll fix it. They don't get the credit they deserve, man.
No, agreed. Well said. Up the women.
Belated happy International Women's Day, girls. Can we move on before I cause some sort of incident in my own
Yeah,
household over this?
absolutely. Go for it.
I don't know what to move on to now, man. I'm stuck on this.
I want you to articulate how cringy it is that I hate. this element of Irish politics where on Patrick's Day, our leader has to go to the Oval Office for a bowl of shamrock presentation.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get it to a certain extent in regards to um, keeping up with the Joneses and keeping them happy and blah blah blah. It's big bad America. We need to do what they say for
Mm.
economic reasons. But my God, is it fucking so cringy? I watched Michael Martin in the Oval Office and I wanted the ground to swallow me up. Now,
Yeah.
the bar was very low in the first place. I don't respect Michael Martin whatsoever. Respect him as a human being. I'm sure he's been through a lot. I get that. But
Mhm.
when I feel like he's just a career politician who, I mean, did you even see the joke that, well, it wasn't a joke. Trump said uh, about the housing crisis. That means
Yeah.
they're doing things great. And Michael Martin was just laughing like
Yeah.
he didn't have the backbone to kind of answer back to anything. It was just, yeah, not an agree. Just keep him happy, keep Trump happy. Like Trump is a fucking moron. Now,
Yeah.
as having said that, as I said, the expectation was the bar was low, so I had no expectation for him to do it to do a Zelensky type scenario. And I don't even think Zelensky did that bad, by the way.
No,
But
and but I don't even think like I mean,
Macron, I thought was fairly impressive, where he was
yeah,
basically saying, "Oh no, 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 you're actually wrong there. This is it. This is it."
yeah.
So yeah, I just felt it was a
Look,
licking his whole exercise.
it's yeah. Talk about perennial massage. It's a weird one, right? It's like I I cringe at the bowl of shamrock ceremony and the begorra and the bejesus and all that kind of stuff. But then there's the other side of it. You kind of say the relationship between Ireland and America is essential in terms of investment in the country, politics, all that kind of stuff. So you kind of go, all right, fine, I can do the mental gymnastics that's needed to kind of accept this or whatever. And look, there's very few nations in the world who get a yearly invite to the White House where their leader gets time with arguably the most powerful person in the world, etc., etc., etc. So, okay, right, I can get past the cringe because I can see the value. But in moments like what you're describing there, where like housing's the number one issue in the country, housing
Has
is
been for 14
you know
years.
the government are being called out for lying pre-election about housing statistics and about how they portray things, and the leader of this government, the Taoiseach, is on a government jolly essentially to Washington, with somebody who we all know like this, and this is the other side of it. It's so fake, right, with Donald Trump because everyone knows Micheál Martin. Like he does not like the man. He doesn't agree with his politics. He doesn't agree with his positions. He doesn't agree with his approach. But this is politics. So you play the fucking game and all that kind of thing. But to sit there then and to kind of do that sort of laugh, brush it off kind of thing when Trump references housing and, references the fact that there's such a housing crisis because they're doing such a great job that so many people are trying to get in here kind of thing. You're sitting there and you're like, for fuck's sake, this is just.
Yeah.
And there was, you could see, like, I can empathize to a degree with Micheál Martin and that he was in an impossible position, right? Like, he was never going to go into that meeting, kick open the door, and read the riot act to Trump, right? That was never going to be on the cards. There was never a situation where he was going to please everyone, right? But I do, and I think to be fair to him, he probably handled the majority of it in the exact way you would expect somebody to handle that situation, to be fair to him. But I do think that housing piece was a blunder. And I also
Yeah,
think there was a missed opportunity regarding Palestine, right?
absolutely.
Like what came across to me was that Trump has an issue with the EU, not necessarily with Ireland. Make of that what you will or whatever. But Micheál Martin was there and he was trying to wear two hats. He was trying to wear the Ireland hat and the EU hat. And you could see how tricky that was for him.
I
Um,
don't think the EU would be happy with Mihal's performance.
I think they won't be delighted with it, but they certainly won't view it. They'll be relieved more than happy or anything else. Like
That
they
what damage limitation like?
precisely, and that's the thing. Like you're effectively dealing with like a toddler, right? A toddler who has tantrums. So you pussyfoot
Yeah,
around them and you do everything you can just to not trigger a tantrum. That's basically what they're doing with Trump, and that's what they will do for the next 4 years. They can't hold him to task because America is still America and it is so powerful and all that kind of stuff. But the further it shifts in terms of its political outlook and the further it, from a White House position, the further it shifts towards Russia, towards what is the non traditional allies of Western society, that's where the EU and treating them with kid gloves, they're gonna have to make a decision at some point. Like we talked about this pre-US election, and I was kind of saying this, like this is like a dictatorship coming in. This is like think of it almost like the establishment of the Roman Empire. Trump is going in deliberately to disrupt, deliberately to make it so that he is the answer to all the problems, and he's
yeah,
the problems to all the answers as well. But the the reality of all of it is that the game or the way that everybody is used to playing things goes out the window. And while people are scrambling to try and find a way to deal with him, he's already moved on to the next thing and the next controversy and the next
yeah.
crisis. And
It's
it's a
like what Bannon said, isn't it?
flood the zone, flood the zone.
Flood the zone. Like the only thing is, and everyone, nobody is exempt from this. But people get fatigue. Like there'll be Trump fatigue eventually. You know, in terms of supporters. I mean, we're not supporters. I'm not a supporter of that country anyway, and it's two party politics
Yeah,
scenario. But my point being is that there's no opposition to him at the moment, like vocally or publicly out there, and you just get the impression that it could be wrong, but it feels like the Democrats are trying to regroup, and it's like, oh, let them blow it all up, let them fuck everything up, and then hopefully they'll be there. They believe. No, I'm not saying I hopefully, but hopefully they think hopefully, oh, we'll be there to pick up the pieces. Because I think with the whole Biden to Harris thing, Biden stepping down on Harris, and there's no primaries,
yeah,
um, it didn't allow, like, if you remember, over me and you are keen interest in, we're American watchers in terms of politics and blah blah blah,
yeah,
but we always, me and you, for the last 15 or so years, would text on the night of a primary, whether it be Republican or Democrat, and we would be saying, I remember over the years we've often said, oh, maybe not now, but so and so looks like there's something for the future. In the absence of no primaries for Democrats, there was nobody standing up to be the future. Do you know,
yeah,
there was no future candidate there where, okay, Harris lost, but it looks like so and so will be next down the line. We don't have that at the
yeah.
moment. I think this could be an 8 year Republican reign.
I I don't know.
Unless his tariffs, because his tariffs that people of his supporters are welcoming him, and they don't realize it actually does more damage to the working class, to the working man, the working woman in America. I
Yeah,
mean, until that is evident, perhaps by the end of the year, where a lot of the undecided voters in America were voting for more food on the table. So
mm,
those undecideds that voted Trump because they believed he's going to give us more food on the table. So by the end of the year, when they realize they're paying more for the basic food that they import and stuff like that, they'd be like, hold on, how am I
yeah,
paying $8 for a red pepper?
yeah. But like Spain is going to play a huge part in this. Like if you look at Trump's press
Yeah,
secretary, her name's gone from my head now. But like
I know you're talking about. Yeah,
she's already out there and she's spinning this in a way where like that people who are only receiving their news from one type of news agency or like that they're only listening to in a vacuum kind of thing. That's all they're hearing, right? Like as far as they're concerned, Trump is probably doing a great job. And the tariff thing, the spin on that is that it's a short-term pain for long-term gain. But what they're talking about, like you're talking about massive motor companies, massive industries upping and replanting their entire process from Canada, from Mexico, from Europe, wherever it might be, and bringing it back to the States. You're talking about thousands of jobs, right? You're talking about billions of dollars or euros or whatever. Like, that's not something that's going to happen in 2 months. Like these tariffs, right? They're gonna impact immediately. But the fix or Trump's fix of bringing these companies back to America, which will then drive down the cost and it'll increase jobs and whatever, it's a fucking fairy tale, you know.
A fairy tale.
But I think
It's
the like
like pharmaceuticals that have been here since 1970 or 1975, the 80s. They're not just going to open, oh, let's go back to America. That's not how the way things work. Like,
no, and I think that's it. Like he might get one or two factories out of it. Don't get me wrong. Like he may have like very very limited success, and Trump and his team will be brilliant at selling that success and making it seem like a huge win. But like tariffs don't work. If tariff worked, they'd be applied across the board everywhere. They're not. Look at the reluctance from
absolutely.
other countries to introduce them because they know all it is ultimately is a pass-through charge to consumer, drives up inflation, and it fucks everyone over. They're a bad idea.
It
To
doesn't
your
fuck the
point,
rich over, though. The rich get richer.
around the Democrats and around like potentially this being an 8 year Republican cycle, possibly, but we won't know until 18 months' time when the midterms happen, right?
Yeah.
That will give us our first big signal to, because whatever about all the polls and whatever about
Sorry,
all the
when's the midterms?
2026, November
Right.
26th. The reality is, right, all the polls and all the approval ratings and everything else, like we've seen how polls and everything else don't really match up to the reality anymore. Like people don't engage with politics and political posters the way they once did. The midterms will tell us very clearly whether people are believing in this Republican and Donald Trump MAGA way of doing things, or they feel like they were sold a song and now they're looking for the reverse gear. And we'll see that
Yeah.
come true in terms of the number of Democrats who win House seats and the number of Democrats who win Senate seats.
Yeah.
What has to happen if you're a fucking blue card carrying Democratic voter? You have to be looking at that party and saying, lads, we're now 3 months into this presidency. We don't have any identifiers. There is no democratic policy.
No.
There is
Yeah.
no democratic identity that says Trump stands for this, we stand for this. Like they are in the Stone Age compared to how MAGA and Republicans have made a movement. And there's
Exactly.
no
And the household named Republicans like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they're all in their 80s, like.
they're too old. Like you're talking about needing guys like Raphael Warren, Gavin Newsom, Alexandria
Your
Ocasio
man Pete
Cortez, Pete Buttigieg. Like these are the next generation to come through, right? Newsom, the problem for Newsom is he's California, right? So a huge amount of the country's gonna hate him just because of that, right? Uh,
Really? That's a
Raphael
gas, isn't it?
Raphael Warnock is brilliant, but he doesn't have the profile. Ocasio Cortez, too many people see her as practically communist because she leans, for American standards, so far to the left. Pete
Yeah.
Buttigieg, former transport secretary, has he had a high enough office? Has he been in the game in as prominent a way that people would feel comfortable voting for him as president? Maybe they don't. Like, I mean, Trump had no political background really. I mean, so Buttigieg certainly has more
Yeah.
political nous. Um, uh, who else is in there? There's other ones in there whose names have gone from my head, but like the reality for us is that unless somebody stands up, or Harris, does Harris go again? Does Harris say, "Give me another shot. I know what I'm doing"? Does fucking Tim Walz say, "You tried me as
Yeah.
voice. Look at the momentum I was able to get. Give me a shot"? Like I think they have options, but they need to get behind that option and they need to really fucking commit sooner or later because otherwise, like the MAGA agenda is just dominating and they're just running away with it. It's
It's just
insane.
dominating, yeah. And then not to mention that fucking flute, Elon Musk.
Ah, don't
I
get
mean,
fucking started,
if
man.
if the shenanigans of Musk and the Doge and Trump, if that was happening in, say, France, the
Yeah,
French would be born in the streets now.
big time. Fucking big.
You
And this is
know,
the that
how
like all
working
this.
class America is just allowed. Now, I don't doubt there's been protests and marches all over America, but we're
Yeah.
we're not seeing them that much in the papers or the news. They are happening, and Tesla's profits are down and stuff like that. But I mean, if the stuff that he's doing was happening in France,
Yeah.
I've no doubt the French would be burning the streets down.
But again, this is another example of how quickly and uh, how much Trump can fuck the system and break the system that they don't know how to react to it, right? Like Musk has gone in there with his Doge cronies and whatever, and the federal system and the system that's in place doesn't know how to. They're like, what? How do we respond to it? How do we act with this? How do we? And stuff happens, and it only gets blocked or it only gets stopped when it reaches the Supreme Court or reaches
Yeah.
federal court, and that's how they're able to make these things happen, and it literally has to go through the court system for it to be slowed down.
But as well as that,
Like,
though, a lot of the layoffs in the federal department
yeah, or hitting Trump
are
voters, people who voted for Trump.
Trump voters are being laid
Yeah.
off because Musk wants to say, now Musk, this is a man who, like, 5% of his wealth could clear child poverty. And instead
Well,
of that, he's looking for savings of 1 million and 2 million and 3 million here and there.
I mean,
Like,
like
why,
Elon Musk.
why would the world's most richest man want to become a civil servant all of a sudden?
But the same reason that anybody would do anything like that, man. Power
Yeah,
and
because he wants to get richer. He's a
yeah,
greedy fucker. He's
power and
already
greed.
getting contracts. Like, he just wants to deregulate everything where there's no regulation, where he can do things with the approval of Trump. It's I'm hoping that their so-called friendship implodes in front of us up on national televisions,
Man,
and we can all laugh.
look at a few days ago. You had Elon Musk and Donald Trump on the White House lawn peddling Tesla. Trump talking about how
Unbelievable.
he's going to buy a
The
car.
level of corruptness there is extraordinary,
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? That like all of a
and then
sudden,
all in plain sight.
yeah, like 270 million he spent back in Trump's election bid. And now all of a sudden people are kind of like, oh, well, I suppose it does make sense for, government vehicles to be Tesla vehicles. And I suppose it does make sense that we take that contract away from NASA and we give it to SpaceX. And I suppose it does make sense that, like, come on, people, look, fucking, ah, look,
Yeah.
corruption. It's incredible. Usually the people who are calling out corruption are the ones committing corruption. That's not lost on me.
Oh, of course, all the time. So we started with M&S sweet treats, and we've ended with the American political system. So, it was
Yeah,
a beautiful chat. We had no guest this week. Our lives got in the way, and we actually forgot to reach out to somebody. But that's what happens.
it does. It does. And I'm going to have a kid soon. So my ability to remember things and do things is probably going to be more scram. So I apologize in
Yeah,
advance.
you'll have baby brain.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's going to affect me as well as Oksana. That's at least my line, and I'm sticking to it. So,
Very good.
yeah.
Right.
Anyway, that was a weird and wonderful walk through many different topics. And
Oh, I'm off to Marks and Spencer's.
yeah, I'm actually gonna after work. I'm gonna say I'll take a trip, and I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
there. And
Hazelnut croissants. Is that what you're telling me?
no, they're in the biscuit section. They're little. I'll send you a photo. They're
Yeah.
hazelnut chocolate wafers.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
next,
send
they're,
them to me. Will you,
they're
please?
next level.
I
They're next
actually
level.
think you sent them to me before.
I might have, yeah. But
Yeah.
they're unreal. Anyway, look,
Lovely.
that'll do us for now, Graham.
That
If
will do us
if,
for now.
if people want to listen to previous episodes and whatnot, they can do. You just search WTS Pod wherever you get your podcasts. That includes Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Podcast Republic, Podcast Addict, YouTube, Alexa, wherever you want. Just WTS Pod will be there. And if you want to find him, he's at Merrigan Mania. I'm at Dan Joe Murray. WTS Pod and all the social medias and whatnot. And listen, get out there and enjoy Millennium massages. You never know. Might love them, might hate them, but you'll have to find out when you try. Until next week,
There it is.
full hearts.
Can't lose.